Thursday scripture breakdown class on Priest Captain Dohar. We have some technical difficulties, but we're rocking. We're going to take the class up to about 9:30 p.m. 9:30, and then we're going to get the One West Radio Show. We'll go over a few things today. Creation, Adam and Eve, right? We'll go over how you are a Jew. Speak on the Kanye thing and all that. Of course, everybody knows that black people are Jews. We're going to prove it in the Bible. A little more precepts, right? And as well as one more thing I have to go over. Just see. As well as something. I had one more thing I wanted to go over. I got a question. 1 second. Circumcision, right? Circumcision and people that lie, right? People that lie on the precepts, right? We'll go over those things. We'll go over those things first, actually, and then we'll get into the topic. Any questions in the room, though? Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I had if you could break down Matthew 12 and 40.
Matthew 12 and 40?
Yes.
All right, let's get it.
Book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 40. Right. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
On that, I was kind of confused on
what that means.
What that means, whether it's hell or.
That's exactly what it is. When Jonah was in the when Jonah was in the whale, or it doesn't say whale, but the fish's body, right? He was in hell. Christ being on earth was him being in hell. You know what I'm saying? We're in hell right now. You can go 2 verses up. To go to 36, no, 4 verses up, 36.
36. Book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
You understand that, right? Go ahead.
For thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
38. Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. 39. But he answered and said unto them, an evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah.
Mm-hmm. Jonah, you gotta go ahead.
Verse 40. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
Go ahead. So you're gonna be in hell. That's the Son of Man. Son of Man is Christ, right? He's gonna be in hell, just like Jonah was in hell. Go ahead. So this is the sign. You know you're in hell, just like the just like Jonah was in hell. Christ is gonna be in hell. Go ahead. 41.
41. The men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation, mm-hmm. and shall condemn it.
Go ahead.
Because they repented at the preaching of Jonah, and behold, a greater than Jonah is here.
Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, that's what you hear that, right? So they repented. Remember when Jonah went to Nineveh, Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh at first, but then after being in the whale, or like the fish, he went to Nineveh, right? Because the Lord made sure that he would have to go prophesy. He made sure that he had to go prophesy to Nineveh. He was trying to get out of it. He didn't want to go to Nineveh. He went on that boat. That boat was rocky. The people on the boat threw him off. He threw him off, and the Lord prepared a fish. The fish came and swallowed Jonah, and he was in that fish for 3 days and 3 nights in hell, in what you will call air pocket in a whale's throat or stomach. You understand? That's how he was surviving. And if you don't believe it, there was a cat not too long ago that was in a whale, I believe. Y'all remember that? You can look it up on Google. Man caught in whale, man caught in fish, and he survived, right? And then also, And not just him, it was another brother. No, it's like I think he was African. He was underwater, right? Underwater, submerged underwater in a boat, right? In a boat, in an air pocket, and lived there for I don't know how many days, but it was like a couple of days, right? Dead bodies around him and all that. There's air pockets that can be created under the water where you can survive. You understand? So that happened, right? Keep reading.
41. For the men of Nineveh shall rise in judgment with this generation and shall condemn it because they repented at the preaching of Jonas.
Mm-hmm.
And behold, a greater than Jonas is here.
That's Christ. Behold, a greater than Jonah is here. Keep going.
42. The queen of the south shall rise up in the judgment with this generation and shall condemn it. For she came from the outermost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon, and behold, a greater than Solomon is here.
Keep going.
43. When the unclean spirit...
That queen of the south was... Y'all remember who that is? What's her name? King Sheba, right? There you go. Go ahead.
When the unclean spirit is gone out of man, he walketh through dry places, rest, and findeth none.
Go ahead.
44. Then he saith, I will return unto my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. 45. Then goeth he and taketh.
You good? That's good. You understand, right? You get it, right? Christ is here. That's why he was talking about him being greater than Jonah, because he's here. So that's going to be the sign. If someone's going to be here to what? The sign of his return is him telling you to repent and come to serve the Most High. That is a sign. He said the people in this world, we require a sign. You need some miracle to happen in front of your face. He's the miracle, literally. You get what I mean? That's what he's trying to tell them. All right? Solid? If you could have kept reading, we was going into something else. But any other questions? Good? All right, let's get it, right? Let's get 1 John 3 and 13. 1 John 3 and 13. People that lie on you. People that lie on you. What do you do about people that lie on you? It's in the Bible. Let's go to it. Any questions online, y'all can just type them in, all right? You got it? 3 and 13, let's go.
The book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 13. Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hate you. We know that we have passed from death unto life.
Marvel not, my brethren, that people might hate you. You get what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. Look at the word marvel, if you could. Read again from the top, Malakma.
Marvel not, my brethren, if the world hate you. Verse 14. We know that we have passed from death unto life.
Death unto what?
Death unto life. Because we love the brethren.
You understand, right? Because you love the brethren, you know that you pass from death unto life. Don't worry about it. People lie on you all the time. Some people lie on you. You might not ever find out what the lie is. Doesn't matter. Go ahead, top one, at the wall.
I got the definition from Marvel.
Let me hear it.
Merriam-Webster's dictionary. One that causes wonder or astonishment, intense surprise or interest. I think it's this one. To feel astonishment or perplexity at or about.
Yeah, don't be perplexed. People lie on you, people all the time. Get it? People say things that aren't true all the time. What is the main reason someone might lie on you? Why are they lying on you? Go ahead, Art. Okay.
Not that, because you got something that they want.
Maybe, yeah. Go ahead, Jaime.
Jealousy,
right? It's really because they want to hurt you. That's the point. You got to be someone who's unhurtable. You understand? Like sometimes you might be rocking with a brother in a school like heavy. the brother in the school with you. You know what I mean? And he leaves. Naturally, that's what hurt you. That'll make you sad. What do we do? What do we do when people leave the truth? Y'all know? Malakma.
We say Lord be with him.
Lord be with him. What else do we do? Shout out.
We disassociate ourselves with them.
Yeah, we don't even talk to him. We don't talk to him no more. Right? Because a human might get hurt, right? But us, you know how we act? We care inside. But we would never say it. We act like we don't care. You understand? That's exactly how we act. Some cat leave the truth. It's like inside, yeah, that's crazy. He left. But from the outside, we'd be like, all right, whatever, moving on. We're not talking about it. That's what it is. You get what I mean? Some sisters leave the school. All right, no sweat. I really don't give a damn about them. Just because why? They wouldn't really ever in the school anyway. You know what I'm saying? So now, that's how we act. We act like we don't give a damn. That's how you should act. When someone lies on you or says something false about you. So many people put so much energy into that. So much energy into, yeah, they said this about me. And so what? Who cares? Right? Any more? Go ahead.
He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
Mm-hmm. Say it again.
He that loveth not his brother abideth in death.
Solid. Give me Matthew 5:11. Was there more on that, Malak Mahani?
That was it for 14.
Solid.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake.
There you go. Blessed are you. You're blessed if someone's speaking evil against you. You're blessed. What they say, if you don't got no haters, you ain't popping. You ever heard that song before? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if no one doesn't like you, you're not really a person that's doing anything. You understand? Oh, who cares? Who cares? Read it from the top.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven.
Perfect. Solid. Good to go? Those are the precepts y'all need there, all right? Now let's move on, right? Any no other questions, right? That was Matthew 5 and 11. All right. Okay. So now let's get the other one. Let's get one again into creation. I had another thing I had to move forward to. A second. Oh, let me get this precept. Let me get James 5 and 16 real quick. There's a brotherhood precept again real quick, all right?
The book of James, chapter 5, and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Confess your faults one to another.
Go ahead.
And pray one for another.
There you go. Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another. Go ahead.
That ye may be healed, that the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 17. Elias was a man subject to like passions as we are, and he prayed earnestly that it might not rain.
Wait, Salaki. Go to 5 and 14. It was James, right? Okay, go 5 and 14.
Verse 14. Is any sick among you? Let him call for the elders of the church,
Mm-hmm.
and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord.
Keep going.
And the prayer of faith shall save the sick,
Mm-hmm.
and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he hath committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. Verse 16. Confess your faults one to another,
Go ahead.
and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
Confessing your faults one to another is a good thing. Saying things that are not controversy, that might hurt someone or might be an uncomfortable conversation. Those are good things. Uncomfortable conversations are welcome. You understand? Because in order for someone to grow, you have to tell them their faults. Y'all understand, right? And tell them their faults. Like someone who loves you will tell you that about yourself. They know that about you. They should tell you some ways to to make you a better man or a better woman. You understand, right? So if you see something, especially like sometimes when you try to correct someone or you're giving someone constructive criticism, some people are not, they can't take constructive criticism because they look at it as an attack on their character. When it really is just you trying to tell them how they could be better, right? But you're gonna have to do it anyway. Y'all get that, right? You have to do it anyway, and the other person who's receiving the criticism is gonna have to take it, take the criticism as a man or a woman, and as an adult, right? And grow. You understand, right? You always want to continue to grow, right? Grow, grow, grow. That's the best thing you can do. All right. Let's move forward. Let's get to the creation. One second. So all this week you talk about Kanye, right? Kanye was all over the tabloids, all over social media. Of course, we was trying to say things about Kanye. I know I was. Did he apologize? I'm not sure. Go ahead, I get it.
I'm not sure. I seen articles saying he did.
I don't know. They might just be putting it out there. It sounds like a reluctant apology. Well, let's get into it, though. Sis, what's that first precept I wrote in them notes?
Genesis 2 and 4.
Genesis 2 and 4. There you go. All right. Solid. Let's get to Genesis 2 and 4.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created.
So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm not gonna get like you guys got Jeremiah 14 and 2. You know Christ is black, right? You know all these things, right? But I'm gonna give you the before that how we became the people we are, right? We're gonna start with Genesis. We're gonna go to with Abraham, right? And then we're gonna go to all the way to Rebecca and Isaac, and we'll go from there. All right, just show you just how we became who we were in the Bible, but we'll start in Genesis. Now, Genesis 1 and 1. Genesis 1 and 1. Read Genesis 1 and 1 real quick.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Right, God created the heaven and the earth, right? So now, God creating the heaven and the earth is God's rulership given to Christ to do what needed to be done. That's what that's talking about. If you can pull Colossians, is it Colossians 7 and 2? 1 second, I can. Is it Colossians? That doesn't sound right. Colossians. Hold on, let me find this precept real quick. All right, go back to Genesis 1 and 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep.
Stop right there. One second. It's in the New Testament. Boom. Hey, well, you know that precept in Colossians where it's basically talking about how Christ is the one that did the work. He did the actual physical work. He took the order as Adam. I think it's Colossians. Man. 1 and 26. That might be it. Nope.
The quickening spirit one?
Nah, it ain't the quickening spirit. We'll get to it. I might not need to pull it. If someone knows it, you can text it to me, all right? So let's go back to Genesis, right? 1 and 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
Go ahead.
And the earth was without form and void.
It was without form and void, right? So now, this is what you will call. You ever heard of the Big Bang Theory? I heard of that. That's what this is. That's what you would call the Big Bang Theory, in essence. So now, I'll fast forward you a little bit. So now, when the Lord created man, right? When the Lord created man, what do you think he created? A baby or a man? Go ahead. Right? No. Go ahead.
The baby.
You think he created a baby? Huh? So a baby just grew up and took care of itself. So that's what you got to think about, right? No, seriously. When the Lord created man, He created man. He didn't say He created baby. You know what I mean? Yeah, man is mankind, right? But man like that. So like it's like that. Back to that. Back to that saying, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Right? The chicken had to come first. You can just put an egg there, right? Like just you can't take a baby. Like think about a baby. If a baby was just created, how would a baby survive? You know what I'm saying? So a man had to come, right? Man had to come, and men came, women came. That's how the Lord created them, and then with them, that started evolution. Evolution is, you know, sexual, bringing kids up and all that. You understand, right? So Adam was created during that time, right? Adam was created during that time. It's like it could be wrong. I might say that wrong. Adam was created on the seventh day. Let me get to that real quick. Let me get my notes 1 second.
I think what you're saying is people were created. Like
Yes,
yes, they were people.
people were created. Let me see. I got it in my notes right here. Yeah, Adam was made on the seventh day, right? Meaning on the seventh day meaning he came into the truth, right? So let's go back to Genesis 2 and 4. So I just want to skip all that. The Big Bang Theory, man was created, right? Animal was created, right? Those things came, right? Those things just came. So now let's go to Genesis 2 and 4.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth
Mm-hmm.
when they were created. In the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens,
Mm-hmm.
and every plant of the field before it was in the earth.
Perfect. Right, go to 2 and 25. We're just skipping around real quick.
Verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Mm-hmm. They were both naked and not ashamed. Meaning what? What does that mean to be naked and not ashamed? Go ahead.
They were exposed.
They were exposed. No, exposed would be more of being ashamed. They were naked and not afraid. Go ahead.
They were pure.
They were pure, right? They were naked, meaning. Remember, the naked means what? What do you mean? Like, think about spiritually. What does it mean to be naked? The brother said pure. Go ahead. Give me a synonym. Go ahead.
Send it like one word.
Yeah. Oh no, just break it down.
Oh, like not corrupt. Man.
There you go. Not corrupt. There you go. So like they came out in their form. When you first are born, when you come into the truth, what are you? Go ahead.
Reborn.
Reborn. What are babies? What are babies? Malakma. Naked. Right? So think about it like that. That's what we are. Naked. When you're naked, you're pure. You're uncorrupted. And that's what Adam and Eve were, right? Adam and Eve were pure and uncorrupted and not ashamed about it. Because when you're a baby, you don't know if you're naked or not until someone tells you. You understand?
Can you put it also like, you know, being in the world is being naked? Because people in the world are naked and they're not ashamed of what they do in the world. Like they don't know that they're doing something. You don't know that smoking weed is wrong until
that's true. That's true. That's true. But we'll get into that in 1 second, all right? So keep reading 225 again.
Verse 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
Right, they were naked and not ashamed. Go ahead. Okay, go to 2 and 21.
Verse 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam,
Mm-hmm.
and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Go ahead.
Verse 22.
Remember, the deep sleep that came onto Adam wasn't actually him in the sleep. It was him in a trance. To give you the word trance in today's term is if you had a lot to drink and you met a woman and you had sex with her and you woke up and you said, what happened? What happened? What was this? You understand, right? That is a trance. That is a deep sleep. You know what I mean? Because sleep is a word for, in black people slang, it's for, is that all right? Not being aware, meaning, If I said you sleeping on this, what's that mean? Not aware is good, or slipping. You slipping, right? You are slipping because you're asleep. You know what I mean? How you not know that you can't get that faded, right? Most people are born because some man was slipping. That's why your mom don't have a husband right now. He's like, I didn't want her. That's not who I wanted. And guess who Adam didn't want? Eve. You understand? Adam did not want Eve. But he stayed with her. He married her. Why he didn't want Eve? Go ahead.
Because when it said rib, that means like close to family.
Yeah, see, that's why. That's why a lot of brothers don't want black women. They want a white woman. They want some woman that's outside their race. And that's exactly what happened during that time because a lot of brothers start sleeping with what's that? Children of men. You understand, right? That's why the Lord flooded the earth. So now, where we at? 2 and what?
22.
Read 22.
Verse 22. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. Verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
Go ahead.
She shall be called woman.
She should be called what?
She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
They shall be what?
They shall be one flesh.
You understand, right? So boom. So that's the story of Adam and Eve that became one flesh. Now, let's go to verse 3. Give me that part of the wall where it goes into the fig leaves. That might be 3 and 7, 3 and 1.
Genesis?
Yeah, in Genesis. They sowed on fig leaves. This is after they broke the law, right? But the main point is I'm going to fig leaves. This ain't the part of the topic. I'm going to fig leaves just because you brought up the naked thing, right? But this is the first part. Adam and Eve was the first people in the truth. That's what you need to know. They was the first people in the truth. Somebody's called 2 Ezra 6 and 54. Adam and Eve were the first people from the truth. Remember, because the Lord, matter of fact, Salaga, I missed that whole part. Give me Genesis 2 and 1. When the Lord said he raised man from the dust of the ground. 2 and 7. Yeah, it might be 2 and 7. 2 and 7. Let's grab that. And then someone holds 2 Ezra 6 and 54. But let's go to where you was at, Thor. 3 and
3 and 7.
Let's go. 3 and 7.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open.
Because this is now, I'm going to give you some context. Now, we're going fast because I really want to get into the other part of the topic. The eyes of them were open, meaning why? Because Eve went and got knowledge outside of her garden. That was the point, right? When you talk about Eve ate from this apple, eating is synonymous with getting knowledge, with gaining knowledge. You understand? That's Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, where you would get that about eating knowledge, right? Or the word eating being soaking up knowledge. Go ahead, Doc.
Would that be like you could apply the term on what is it? Think outside the box or open your mind, as they say in the world.
Yes, opening your mind. Like being open-minded needs specifics. You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna be open-minded about something, it's because I like. Let me see. Why would I be open-minded? Like about eating lawful foods. You get what I'm saying? Like that's a good example of being open-minded. Like some brothers, they won't eat. Not y'all, but some brothers in the world, they don't think lamb is good. You get what I'm saying? They don't think like they don't want to eat no goat, oxtails. You know what I'm saying? They go with chicken and beef, and that's it. And they don't want nothing else. That's what I be open-minded. You know what I mean? It's lawful. Now I can't be open-minded to my daughter befriending some homosexual girl. That's not what I'm about to be open-minded. I'm closed-minded when it comes to that. So yeah, so you can be when you say the term open-minded, make sure you say it with specifics. You know what I mean? Because most of the time I don't even like the term open-minded because it sounds like I'm ready for anything. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't tell a brother just try something if he didn't want to, even if it is lawful. Because I don't want to. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's your choice. But I know on Passover you're gonna have to eat this. You know what I mean? You don't got no choice then. You're gonna take the choice right from me. You know what I mean? All right, let's go to 3 and 7.
Verse 7. And Isaac, that both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Verse 8.
They sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. So now, when we talk about the clothes, right, the wall, these are the clothes. Remember, what you're talking about, now he got it out. What you're talking about is more us being born in sin. You get what I mean? So we're born in the clothes of sin. We're born in that body. You want to give him the bread? You give him the bread. Oh, really? Oh, he came already. Okay, so so like them being with fig leaves, that is the cold part because now we're born with fig leaves. You feel what I'm saying? We're born with fig leaves because when you're 8 months old, 10 months old, you probably having bacon on. You're about ready to celebrate your birthday in about 2 months from 10 months, right? You about ready. You celebrate Christmas, had Thanksgiving. You're not even knowing because you're a baby, but your parents are born with fig leaves. The doctrine of life is fig leaves. But now the problem is what the wall said is they're not ashamed because they don't know. But that comes from their ancestors. Malakman.
Like, real quick, when Christ was talking about being born again, this is what we can reference. Genesis, he was referencing this, Genesis, the first chapter.
Was he referencing this? No, he wasn't referencing this. Not this. Being, what do you mean?
Like, you know how Adam came into the truth, so you know, like I said, they were naked and without shame.
Okay, yes, absolutely. You can use it for sure. Because Adam he was in the world. You know what I mean? And he did find the truth, just like us. And he came from a low state. If you look at our lives, like literally every person's life in here, you was literally in a low state. What they call low vibrational. That's what it is, right? Low. You was eating low vibrational plates. You literally was a low vibrational person because you was getting high, right? Most of us was getting high, getting the alcohol, the weed, any woman that give you some box. Some of y'all smoking cigarettes. Remember the cigarettes used to boost the high. That's what they used to say. Cigarettes boost the high. Go ahead.
You know, when I came into recovery off of the hard drugs like cocaine, I used to have to keep my lungs open with a cigarette, and I wasn't naturally a cigarette smoker, but I would only keep a cigarette in my mouth because I wasn't smoking cocaine. I had to ease off of that too.
See, I hate see the word. Oh, when you said I had to keep my lungs open, I hate that. Open just almost is homosexual. You get what I'm saying? Right. Only person that should be open is a wide receiver. That's it. Open for the pass. Everything else, the word open just sounds like you're just opening up yourself. You feel what I mean? Like we should definitely be closed. Go ahead.
You know, the slang is you smoke the glass dick, so they go hand in hand.
Golly. See? There you go. You know what I mean? So now, where was we at? Oh, the fig leaves, right? So now Adam and Eve sewn themselves the fig leaves together to cover up. What you got to cover up for, right? What was the fig leaves? The fig leaves were other philosophies, other doctrines. They thought they can cover themselves up with other doctrines, right? That's what they thought. Of course, being black and Hispanic, you know that you don't fit because who's in these other doctrines is other people, other races. You get what I mean? So now they'll accept you, but now you become a second-class citizen in their religion, in their belief, because they know it's a religion not for you. Imagine if a black person going to Hinduism. Who's in Hinduism? East Indians, right? I think East Indians, right? Hindu. Come on now. You can't be no Hindu in India. Now you can, but they don't like, what are you doing? Right. You know what I'm saying? Then what's going to happen to you is what's going to happen. What happens to them all the time is deformities. When you have a baby, the Lord going to bless you with that Hindu whatever, and now your son going to have a third arm right under this hand right here. You go look up who has the most deformities in the world. East Indians. You understand? They got a whole bunch of weird stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So now I don't want to get off the topic. So now we finding out who we are. And now Adam and Eve being the first people who went against God and became another race. So spiritually. You understand? They became someone else spiritually. Of course, they went forward and knocked that off and came back and all that. But during that time, they try to hide themselves with other nations, right? So let's move forward. Let's go to here. Let's get Abraham, right? Let's get Abraham. Take me to the first meeting with Abraham and the angel, right? Take me to Genesis 22. We'll skip a little here. I think it's 17, but let's go to 22. Huh? 22 and 1. You might have to read one and then drop down to 17 or something. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 22, and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am.
Keep going, son.
Verse 2, and he said, Take now thy son, thine only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah.
So now y'all familiar with this story, right? What did Abraham have to do? Abraham had to take Isaac up to get killed. So now let's think about this. Of course, we're in the truth. We're hardcore brothers in the truth. We absolutely believe the Bible, and we're men of war. Someone who is not a man of war, someone doesn't know the war history of God in the Bible, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds crazy. And it sounds like, why would I serve this God? It's exactly the reason why you should serve a God like this. You get what I'm saying? It's like this. What Abraham did, of course, you know the story. We'll read the story. Just keep reading the story, and I'll give you an example of what it is. Go ahead.
Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah. So
like one also thing about Abraham, he had not. This was his, I think, one of his last tests before the Lord really brought him in. Remember, he went to war with some Africans, killed them, took their spoils, and then he met a cat named Melchizedek, right? Y'all know Melchizedek, right? He met Melchizedek and gave him 10% of everything that he had, which would be tithes. Melchizedek, of course, is Christ. You know what I mean? In the Bible, if you know the scriptures, he's Christ. And he says that he comes from, I don't want to say he comes from Judah, right? But if you go read Hebrews, it's something about Judah and Melchizedek, right?
Well, Christ come, but Melchizedek, he had no father or mother.
He had no father or mother, but he was the high priest.
He was the high priest in Christ. You know, our Lord sprang out of Judah.
Wow. So now we'll get to that in a second too. So now Abraham did that. Remember, Abraham he was compromising. He tried to lie and say that what's her name? Sarah was his sister to one of the kings. So the king wanted to have sex with Sarah. Then the Lord said to the king a dream, you better not touch that, sister. And he was scared to death. And he said, why didn't you tell me this was your wife? But Abraham was scared. He didn't want to die because he thought the man was going to kill him and take his woman. But he forgot that to have faith. You know what I'm saying? To have the faith. And he should be ready to die. Than have someone take his woman. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you think someone's going to take your woman, don't play the part. Like, nah, this ain't mine. This is my sister. He going to have sleep with your sister. If that's your sister, you got to say, this is my wife. And, and that's that. So he went through these things. He went through these tests. But this was the biggest one, right? Keep going.
And offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. Verse 3. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son and clave the wood for the burnt offering and rose up and went unto the place of which God had told him. Mm-hmm. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you.
Go ahead.
And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering?
Come on now. So his son is saying, we got the fire. So he like, we got the fire, we got the wood. Where's the lamb at? You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, not making no sense, right? So this was what he's going through. Now think about it in the serious mindset of how bad Abraham wanted to have a son. He was 90 something years old, him in Israel, right? And then he already sent his other son away. Remember that, right? He had another son named Ishmael that he had with Hagar, right? Sent them away. They're gone. Isaac is his only son. Think about that. What's the word? Only son, right?
Right.
That's his only son. So he's taking him up there, mind you. The scriptures don't say it. He's probably holding back tears, right? Thinking like, damn, I'll have to kill my son. This is wild. You know what I mean? Keep going.
Verse 8. And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering.
Mm-hmm.
So they went both of them together, and they came to the place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. Mm-hmm. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. Verse 11. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.
You understand, right? Seeing that you not withheld his son, your only son, from me, right? Of course, we know Isaac later is, in the scripture you find that Isaac is Christ. You know what I mean? Only begotten son. Only son, right? So now, that's another trial to show us who we are, right? So with that, they found they got a covenant. Now he got a covenant. Abraham and God have a covenant. So whoever come out of Abraham, he said, remember, Abraham was going to be a father of many nations. You get what I'm saying? He's going to be a father of many nations. But then there was going to be another son that he had, which was Isaac, and Isaac was going to meet a woman, and then they were going to have kids. That's another thing that was going to happen. So let's get Genesis 25.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 1. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Median, and Ishbak, and Shuah. Keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 3. And Jokshan begat Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Asherim.
Wait, where you at?
Verse Genesis 25 and 3.
No, 25 and 25.
Oh, so.
But first go to 24 and 60. Nah, you don't got to go to 67. Go to 25 and 25. Who got second Ezra 6 and 54? Somebody grab it. Go ahead, keep going.
Oh God. The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name.
So I can go up 23. My bad.
Verse 23.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Perfect. 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So that's important. You understand this, right? 2 nations are in a room. How many times have you read it? 1,000, right? Keep going.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Go ahead. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment.
Keep going.
And they called his name Esau.
They called his name what?
Esau.
Go ahead.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his head took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Perfect. So now we know that there was 2 people that came out of this woman's womb. One being Esau, one being Jacob. You understand, right? Esau was red like a hairy garment all over. So now let's go figure out who Esau is, right? Give me Genesis 36 and 1. Whole second Ezra. Give me Genesis 36 and 1, then drop down to 8 and 9, right? We got to show who the Khazars come from. Of course, we know this breakdown as well. I think I went over it a while ago. Had a Dr. Juan posted so we can for Kanye thing, right? We're gonna go into a little bit of this, who they are, and then we'll go. Of course, we got to pull through the Deuteronomy too. All right, go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 36 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of Esau, who was Edom. Esau took his wife.
Wait. Say it again.
Now these are the generations of Esau, who was Edom.
Esau who is what?
Who was Edom.
Y'all understand this, right? Esau, who is Edom. Who was the son born? The name was Edom, right? What was his name? It's like Esau, right? Esau, who is Edom. So now jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir.
Where?
In Mount Seir.
Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Of course, you know Ezekiel 35, the Lord says, set your face against Mount Seir. Remember that, right? So now, we'll read that in a second. Give me verse 9.
Verse 9. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 10. These are the names of Esau's son.
Go ahead.
Eliphaz, the son of Adah,
Go ahead.
the wife of Esau. Reuel, the son of Bashemath,
Mm-hmm.
the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zapho, Gatam, and Kenaz.
Go ahead.
And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek.
Bear to Eliphaz who?
Amalek.
Go ahead.
These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife.
Wait. He bare to his son who?
Eliphaz, Amalek.
Amalek. Remember that, right? Amalek. Can you find me? It's somewhere in there where they say Amalek is the duke. The duke of Esau. Duke meaning the chief tribe, right? Because out of all Edomites, right, those Amalekites are the number one people in that tribe. You understand? Go ahead.
He's not an Amalek, but he is a Edomite. John Wayne, that famous actor.
Yeah.
His nickname was the Duke.
Yeah.
That was his nickname.
Yeah.
And then one more thing, I had a question.
No sweat.
When he said Kenaz as the sons of Esau.
Yeah.
Now I heard it somewhere, but I can't find it recently. That Kenaz is short. I mean, Kenaz was also called the Ashkenazi Jew.
Okay.
Ashkenazi and Kenaz,
Mm-hmm.
like the same, like it's a stem word.
That's exactly correct. You understand? That's exactly correct. You found Duke yet? It should be. Where's it at?
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek.
Mm-hmm.
These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Adah.
Perfect. That's it. That's all you need. So that's the history of who they are. A brief history. Remember, they're the dukes of the white tribes, right? The Amalekites, right? Amalekites are the Jewish man today. That's the Ashkenazi. That's the what's the other word from the war? Give me some more. The Khazarian Empire. Give me some more. Another one. Huh? Sephardic. Okay. Sephardic. Yeah. Sephardic is correct.
Modern day Lithuania, Poland,
Ukrainian,
Ukraine,
Russia, right? Russia. So all that's them, right? We'll get a little more too. So now you're right there. Where do I want to go before that? Okay, you're right there. Went to Abraham. One thing. Oh, Jacob. Let's go to Jacob. Let's go to Jacob. So let's get. Shoot. Okay, of course, I'll just give it to you. Jacob had sex with Rachel and Leah, right? They had kids. Then he had two more handmaids that became the children of Israel. Later, of course, Jacob fought an angel, got blessed, and his name went from Jacob to Israel. You understand? And his children, his offspring, are the children who become the chosen people of God, the children of the Israelites, right? So before we go into a little more, let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 68, of course. Before that, give me 28 and 1. Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Go ahead. Jacob? Yeah, it was a vision. It was a vision. He wrestled an angel. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't in real time. Go ahead.
So like, was Esau's name changed to Edom when he was begging for red pottage?
Yes. Esau and Edom is two different things, right? It's two different. Esau is, I believe, Esau is just red, and Edom is wasted away. Which one is it? Edom is red. Esau is wasted away as he. I think in the Hebrew it's wasted away as he. All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
course, you know how easy it is to unarm someone who thinks they're Jewish or they're a Jew, right? All you gotta do is just go into the Bible and read Deuteronomy. Who those curses fit? Those curses don't fit them. I like way far from them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. That, like there's a precept that says it was able to fool the whole world. Can y'all find that? Able to fool the world. How do you say? Let me look for it. Hold on one second. Matthew 24 and 24, right? Let me get Matthew 24 and 24. Keep going on Deuteronomy 28 and go to 14 real quick. And of course, you just go to Deuteronomy, any word of the curses you want to go to, but I'm going to go right to 68 because everyone's familiar with 68 because 68 shows the transatlantic slave trade. You know what I mean? Of course, you can't show me in the Bible where they were slaves. Now, they'll go to the Holocaust. They'll go to that. But they weren't actual slaves. They were prisoners of war. You know what I mean? That's different. That's different. And on top of that, who were they oppressing? Go ahead. No. The Jewish people at that time. Who were they oppressing? Go ahead. The Germans. They was oppressing those Germans. I don't know the Germans how to do it. Sorry to say. I mean, you can't cancel me. I ain't got nothing. Right. You can cancel Kanye. I can say whatever. I'm free. I'm a free man. Right? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 14.
What they gonna do? Take my jewelry? You know what I'm saying? Take my Jordans? Go ahead.
And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them.
Perfect. Where you at? 14?
14.
So now if you go to any of those curses, of course the main ones would be 28 and 48 through 50, 28 and 64, 28 and 68, 28 and 37. Man, those are all good ones. All of them are good. Let's go to 28 and 68 though. There's a scripture that says that he shall lend to you and you shall not lend to thee. And you shall be the tail and he shall be the head. You know what I mean? All these things are us. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely us in the spirit. If you know that, then you can read the Bible and tell. That's why I'm not so okay, not anymore, but I remember coming up, that used to be the number one Edomite we hated the most was the Jewish man. Right. Like, it was like all the other Edomites, yeah, they of course they all the same. But that Jewish cat, you know why he's so evil? Because he's the closest one to you. Like, he acts like everything is cool. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'll tell you like that. I'll tell you real quick. I came up, right? I grew up in the hood, and I went from the hood and I went to an all-white neighborhood. My mother took me to a middle school around rich white people. You know what I'm saying? Rich white people, like, you know, super rich. So I befriended some white boys coming up, and they were Jewish. And I went to their bat mitzvahs. I've been to 2 bat mitzvahs. That's crazy, right? I went to bat mitzvah. I'm not knowing nothing, but it was out of a blast. I'm like, oh God, you know, what you call it? This crazy things happen at bat mitzvahs. They got, you know, he gets like $15,000, $20,000. Just that's his gifts. You get what I'm saying? That's gifts for him. You know what I mean? $20,000. He gets a car. There. Bat mitzvah is when you're 13. By the way. Yeah, 13 years old. Becoming a man. So he gets a car for when he's 16 at a bat mitzvah. The vice president of Sony was there at one of the bat mitzvahs, right? Talking about you just went Andre 3000 last night, you know, all this. I'm like, this is one of my friends. I'm like, this is crazy. You know, your birthday, you lucky to get $100. You know what I'm saying? If someone can remember, oh, hey, it's your birthday, right? You get to go to, you know, Red Lobster or whatever hell brothers used to go to. So their bar mitzvahs are crazy. They're rich as hell, right? Okay, so now that's their life. That's their life. So you look at it like, wow, we don't do bar mitzvahs. Right. You know what I mean? That's some garbage that they came up with. We don't do no bar mitzvahs. But they are acting like they're us though. They think they're the chosen people of God. Ain't that something? Like, think about that. We say that we're the chosen people of God. People get mad at us. They've been living as the chosen people of God forever, for damn near centuries. And people believe that that's who they are. And no one is bothered by that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the actual people of God, the chosen people of God. Read where you at?
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Lord said, this is one of the best ones, right? The Lord said he was going to bring you into Egypt again with ships. So you got to ask this white man, so you was in Egypt in slavery? You get what I'm saying? You was in Egypt in slavery? You was under that sun? You built them pyramids? You know what I mean? You got to ask him that. So you the people that built them pyramids. Go ahead, Al.
Like that, to piggyback off what you're saying, like, what about when they try to say, like, oh, we're the chosen people because of our DNA? We have DNA proof that we're the chosen people. I was trying to hit
Yeah, prove it.
Oh,
Show me your DNA. I don't need to show you my DNA. In the Bible, I can show you who I am. You know what I mean? Of course, the Bible says the Jews are black. Like, of course, they say that means condition. That's a lie. And what condition are they in? The best. In the best financial condition you can be in. Go ahead,
I just want to make sure that Jeremiah 14:2, when it says they are black onto the ground, that's talking about our condition. That's talking about the condition of Judah, and it's talking about their color, right? And then like when it says they're black onto the ground,
yeah,
it's going into everybody.
Yeah, if you look at it in Hebrew, it means black onto the earth.
Right.
That's talking about their skin. They are black.
So when it's okay, so it's referring to Judah and to like every other tribe or no?
Okay, this talking about the house of Judah at this time. You get what I'm saying? That's what that's talking about in Jeremiah. They are black. You know what I mean? So now that's what you have to use. Remember, because there was two houses: the children of the house of Judah and the house of Israel. Those are the two things, right? So go ahead.
So when it says they are black, it's a condition and a color, right?
It's a color.
It's not twofold?
No. Well, okay, yeah, you can use it as twofold. Yeah, you can use it as twofold. Black is a condition for sure. You know what I mean? When Job said that his skin was black upon him, and his
bones were black.
he said his skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat. That was that condition. You get what I'm saying? That was the condition he was in. Like everybody on the what color are black people? Brown. What color are you? What color are you, Malakma? What color are you, Shara?
Brown.
Sis, what color are you? Yeah, but look, I'm brown too, right? We're not black.
Right.
The East Indians are brown.
Right.
Africans are dark brown, very dark brown, right? What color are Asians? Y'all better not say yellow. Go ahead. White? No.
Brown.
You can say yellow because yellow is a derivative of brown. You get what I'm saying? They're brown. But people call us black because of our condition. You get what I'm saying? That's why you get called black, not because of your skin being black, because of your condition. Everybody knows that you're black because of your condition, right? So that's why they call you a black man. They don't call nobody else no black man. It's East Indians darker than me. You get what I mean? Go ahead.
So like, Africans are not called black.
They called African. You don't call no Africans black, right? You don't say that. Like most people that see an African call people that know that they're African. They call them Africans. You know what I mean? Call them Africans. Shit, my slavery. One of the cats called Africans refugees. I said, damn, you don't think that's racist? Like I'm like, you call him a refugee? And then I was like, why you call him a refugee? He's like, oh no, he's from Sudan. They're refugees. I'm like, okay, but like you still call him a refugee? I don't know if that's offensive or not. I don't know. I don't really care, but I'm just like, I thought that might be like sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Right. But whatever. I'm gonna call him refugee too. Refugee. That's crazy. That's like saying an immigrant.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know how an immigrant would feel about being called an immigrant, even if they are immigrant. Anyways, so now you read 28 and 68, you go to that verse, of course, that shows the spirit of it. Now, when you're Hispanic and you read this verse, they'll say, Why are you reading me that verse? You wasn't in the transatlantic slave trade, right? That's what they would say, right? Someone who doesn't know. But of course, you might have to pull out another book just to give you reference to that. Because who started the transatlantic slave trade was the Hispanics, was the Spaniards that took the Hispanics back from America over back to Spain. Was it Portugal? What's it called Spain? Is it Portugal, Spain? It might not have been Portugal. It might have been Portugal. Go ahead.
I can't believe copies not covered in the 12 tribes that year. Like, they were sent back to England, they were sent to Spain, they were sent probably also sent to Portugal.
No, but I'm trying to think where the first city was.
Oh, come on.
The first one they went to, I don't know if it's Portugal. I might be saying Portugal because it's so popular. Go
I think
ahead.
it's Seville, Spain is where they take
Seville, Spain. That sounds familiar. So now that's what you will go to because you want to show people what's the spirit of the Bible. You know what I mean? Now the Jewish man, listen, he knows he's not the Jew. Like he knows it.
Right.
You remember that breakdown we did in LA, right? And we went over all the, I'm not gonna do that today, but when we went over that, right? And the chosen people of the Caucasus. Everybody who knows, get that book. It's an excellent book. General Hazayan, I got that breakdown from General Hazayan. It was the most excellent breakdown of the Jewish man that you can ever have, right? Get the people, chosen people of the Caucasus, read that. You can text me later and ask me for the references of the pages. I'll get them to you. But that is an excellent book to go in and do your research on to give you some insight, right? So now we'll go from there. Go to Deuteronomy 28:68. Let's get 2nd Ezra 6:54. Because remember, who came from Shem? Go ahead. Yes, but who else? I'm about to say Esau. Malak, you gonna say Esau, right? Right. Right. So like it. But you right. So Esau came from Shem too. Y'all understand? So when you had the sons, what's the son's name? Ham, Japheth, and Shem, right? Esau came from Shem because you go back to Noah's sons. Noah's had 3 sons: Ham, Japheth, and Shem. If anybody got their Bible dictionary? No sweat. Remember, Ham became the progenitor of the dark races. He said all these dark races, they were basically Africans. He said not the Negroes. So you can't cop us in with the Africans. Remember, Kanye kept saying we're Africans. He don't know no better. He like one of them brothers who happy to find the truth but don't know how to articulate himself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he kept saying Africa, come from Africa, which technically he's not wrong if he's talking about our last stop before America for most of us, right? Most of us did flee into Africa, hiding amongst dark races. Of course, I'm talking about Babylon and Timbuktu, but that's what we did do. You understand? But that's not who we are or where we come from, because those Africans got us together and sold us to white men. You understand? Right. So now, let's get 2nd Ezra 6:54.
The book of 2nd Ezra is chapter 6, verse 54.
Mm-hmm.
And after this, Adam also, who thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
Remember, the Bible says of Adam, all of us come from. You understand? We all come from Adam. That's what the Bible just said. Go ahead.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
And hold on, listen to this carefully. And the people from who thou hast chosen comes from Adam as well. Keep going.
Verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake.
You understand? He made the world for whose sake?
Our sake.
He made the world for our sake. Go ahead.
Verse 56. As for the other people.
As for who?
As for the other people.
As for who?
As for the other people, which also come from of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing.
You understand this, right? The Lord said there's other people that came from Adam that is not his people. The Lord said, thou hast said that they are nothing. Everyone else who comes from Adam, the Lord does not give a damn about, according to the Bible. These ain't my words, those are his words. You know what I mean? The Lord said he only loves you. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. And then let's go to Obadiah. Let's go to Obadiah. There's so much we can go into. Of course, we're gonna go into when Christ blessed the white woman's daughter. We'll get to that too.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
For thou art an holy people.
Remember, the word holy means what? Go ahead.
Separate.
Separate, right? So these are milk scriptures that you need to take and and kill your enemy with. You know what I mean? The Lord said what?
For thou art an holy people
Mhm.
unto the Lord thy God.
Go ahead.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
Has what?
Hath chosen thee.
That's important because now the Lord says we're chosen. Remember what Kanye kept saying? We're the chosen people of God. We're chosen. We're the chosen people of God. You know what it means to be chosen now? You ever been chosen? Where's you have you been chosen for anything? Yeah, right? What was it?
Well, I was a kid, 16, in Minnesota for the first time,
Mhm.
out of New York City at camp.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that was an expert canoe.
Yeah.
So he looked at all us kids and he had to pick the strongest.
Right.
He said, I'm picking you, and you. And he picked me for we were power rowers and we also broke a record against the wind.
How'd you feel?
Felt great.
Yeah, because you were chosen. You was right. I've been chosen for a lot of things. And I'm like, every time I got chosen, I was like, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, you're right. I should have. I should have been chosen. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should have chose me. Look at my competition, right? But like being chosen feels good. It feels good. And when you're an Israelite, you should feel good about being chosen. You understand? You should feel good about that. And taking that feel good about it, but we should take on a responsibility that comes with it, with being chosen. You know what I mean, right? So when you get chosen, there's responsibilities. You understand? Responsibilities come with it. It's great to be chosen. Out of all that the scripture said, out of all the families in the earth, he chose us. There's so many, I think 18 families in the earth. He chose us. You understand? Keep going.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Perfect. Above what?
Above all people.
Above what?
Above all people.
Perfect. Above all people. That's all you need. That's all you need. So now, let's go. What's the next reason I call? Let's go to Obadiah. Go to Obadiah. Let me get 1 and 1.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Was it 1 and 1 or 3? Was it 3 and 1 I need? Let me look for that.
10 or 16?
No. Hold on. Go 1 and 4.
Book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the
Okay,
eagle.
so like 2 verses up.
Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Right. Behold, the Lord said he made them small amongst the heathen. They are greatly despised. Go ahead.
Verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, have said. So like that said.
Hold on. Thou that dwelleth where?
In the clefts of the rock.
Thou that dwelleth where?
In the clefts of the rock.
Why do you think they call the white man Caucasian? Go ahead. He come from the Caucasus Mountain. That reminded me, Salakia. Remember earlier with the scripture said in Deuteronomy, it's like in Genesis 3 and 8. Go back to that real quick. We'll come back to Obadiah. Go to Genesis 3 and 8, I believe, or 3 and 1. What'd you read earlier? When it says Mount Seir.
I believe it was 3.
He dwelt in Mount Seir. Remember, because the white man first was in the land of Edom, right? And from the land of Edom, he went to, I want to say, I don't know if it was Georgia. Okay. Georgia, Russia? We'll find. Well, let's get Mount Seir first. If you look up Georgia, Russia, and Mount Seir, I believe they're about almost 3,000 miles away from each other. That's both places they stayed. All right, go ahead.
I was just going to bring up one of the reasons why they won that battle against the Muslims, the Khazars, the Amalekites, the fake Jew, because they were up high in the mountains, and they were the Muslims were advancing up to the Edomites, and they would just throw rocks down on them, boulders down on them, and they defeated them at that time when they turned their name to be Jewish.
Oh yeah, the white man loves a high inhabitants. Like if you go look like you got the Hollywood Hills.
Right.
Like why you want to live in the Hollywood Hills? Like you know what I'm saying? It's not like of course it's rich as hell, but it's up and away. You know, you ever be on the freeway driving around? You're like, why is there a house right there?
Right.
And how did they get home?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's probably some windy road away from isolation because that's what they naturally like. They like something away from people, gone and high. You know what I'm saying? Like in New York, they got high rises. They got buildings so tall, and there's a condo on the 30th floor. They want to live there. Shout out.
Skyscrapers. You know, I was on the 75th floor of the Empire State Building. You know, that's real high. Even in the projects, we lived on the 19th floor, and I'll never forget it. As a kid, we used to feel when the wind blows, that building, you feel that building swaying with the wind. Mm-hmm. And they got a record called Up and Away that you just took me to that too. Like when I was young, I heard that record Up and Away in my beautiful balloon. That's their music.
So let's get it. Where you at?
Genesis 36 and 8.
Yeah, Genesis 36 and 1.
36 and 8.
Okay, hold on. Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 36 and 8. Thus Esau dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
Esau is who?
Esau is Edom.
Go ahead. Esau is who?
Esau is Edom.
Go ahead.
Verse 9, these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir.
In where?
In Mount Seir.
Perfect. Now give me Ezekiel.
What's up?
35 and 1.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir.
Set thy face against who?
Against Mount Seir.
Go ahead.
And prophesy against it. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
I'm what?
I am against thee.
The Lord said he was against Mount Seir. Now, who lives in Mount Seir? Raise your hand. Go ahead.
Esau.
You understand, right? That's who lives in Mount Seir, Esau. Who are Edomites? Amalekites are Edomites. You understand this, right? You ever heard them say, hey, I got a Jew fro? You ever heard that before? You ever? No, they when they had that curly hair, they call it a Jew fro. Yeah. Ain't that something? We call it, remember, German Hyman coined the phrase, what do you call it? He fro? Is it he fro? Did he call it he fro? You know what I'm talking about? He bro? He was saying basically don't call it an afro because that's African. You know what I mean? Yeah, he bro. He said he fro. Something like that, right? But the white man said he got a Jew fro. And that's what a Jewish man looks like. He has that curly hair. You know what I'm saying? So he damn near thinks he's black. Go ahead.
Could that possibly be why? Because they came from Esau and Jacob were brothers. Could that be that gene coming back through? That's the gene part, but I wouldn't like to think about it like.
But if you do think about it, technically, you are closer to an Edomite than you are to an African. You come from the same. You know what I mean? You do come, but yeah. Go ahead.
So like I would say, Esau did take wives from King.
He sure did. Yeah, man, that is true. So now read. So now he's where you at? Verse 3. Keep going.
And said unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
The Lord said he's against Mount Seir. Mount Seir is full of Edomites, right? Mount Seir are the people that hurt blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Go ahead.
And I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
Go ahead.
I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Go ahead.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
Get out of hand. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen, man. That is what's going to happen, and it needs to happen because of what they did to us. You know what I'm saying? What Kanye did, like, I don't care if he go back to serving the white man. I don't give a damn about that. But what I do care about is more people know that they Jews.
Right.
You know what I mean? More people are woken up that they are Jews. They went to go look it up, and guess who they found? Pride Isupk.
Right.
When you type in black Jews, it's going somewhere. If you go long enough, we're gonna pop up somewhere. You get what I mean? They're gonna find something. Be like, man, I watched your video because Kanye was coming out and said the Jews is black, and I was trying to find out some story. You're gonna hear that some story. You know what I mean? But it needed to happen. That's good. You know what I mean? That's good for black people and Hispanic people to be woken up. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some Hispanic brothers speaking about how the Jews is black. You're like, whoa, the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go. Keep going.
Come on. I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth.
Perfect. So good to go. So now let's go to Obadiah. Let's get Obadiah. Brother said the camera on point tonight. I know the water. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have the wall, man. I'm gonna have to buy this camera from the wall, man. Need this up in here. Go ahead. Yes, start from the clefts of the rock, Bobby.
Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart.
Go ahead.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down?
Right, that's what he say, right? He dwelleth in the clefts of the rock. He said, who's gonna bring me down? That's the pride of Esau. You know what I'm saying? That's how proud he is. And he dwells in the clefts of the rock, and he has platforms in outer space. Right. Have you ever seen that movie, Ad Astra? You ever seen Ad Astra? Ad Astra. I think it's with Brad Pitt, right? He goes in outer space and stuff. He goes to damn, I want to say Venus. What's that red planet? Is it Venus? Mars. He goes, well, okay, Mars or Venus, one of the two. And then he goes to Mars, and there's a whole other, there's people living on Mars that were born, you know what I mean, on Mars, never been to Earth. So basically, they got a society of people that live on Mars because they're people with astronauts, and they just stayed on Mars. Y'all gotta look at it. Is that real? That might have been just a movie. I don't know. I wanted to believe it though. I was like, that's crazy. People living on Mars, right? But that movie shows you the outside mind of the white man because he knows there's something coming from outer space. You get what I'm saying? He knows there's something bigger than this place, and he needs to fight against it. So to prepare themselves, they go live on Mars, have a society on Mars. They want to do that with every planet. Go ahead, Malakman.
So I was gonna ask them, because the scripture says the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. So the pride, would that be like, talk about, maybe not making bases on other planets and him fearing like an invasion from outer space?
Yeah.
He always, the movies he makes about alien invasions, he always makes it to where he wins.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? All right, we good to go on that? Keep going. Give me all the way down to verse 9.
Whose habitation is high, and saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down.
Right. Though he exalt himself like an eagle is synonymous with white empires. You understand, right? Go look at every white empire, they have an eagle that represents not just America. I mean, going way back. Go ahead. Germany. Russia. What empire? It's another empire. But all of them, basically. Right? And then, of course, what else he say after that? The Roman Empire. I believe the Greeks, too. Greeks had a leopard. I think they had a leopard. You got to look it up. So now, what verse you at?
Verse 4.
Okay, drop me down to 9.
Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed.
Teman are Germans. You know what I mean? Teman are Germans. Germans, why he called them the mighty men, because the mighty men, these are people who are mad scientists. You know what I'm saying? And you go look at every scientist who built bombs, they're all German. Damn near. You know what I'm saying? Those are mighty men because they're the ones that create death. You think death comes from a super soldier like Captain America. Death comes from a scientist. You get what I'm saying? Who understands what is it? What is in bombs? What is in
Nuclear fission.
yeah? One more time.
Nuclear fission.
Nuclear fission. Perfect. And he understands it. He understands atom. Atom is atom. What is that? What is that called? Hold on, let me Google it. I want to think forever.
Like I said, the atom itself, or
Yeah.
the atom itself is made up of neutrons and electrons that have an orbit around it.
Right. The basic unit of a chemical element, and they understand it. They're like what's that? What is that class in high school? Chemistry. But they're like chemistry times 10. Go ahead.
Can I add? It's called the periodic table of elements.
There you go.
And
That's
it
what
has
it is.
all the elements on there. When we were in class,
Uh-huh.
you would put water with sodium and
Mhm.
blow up. He told us we put our glasses on.
God.
Water with lithium.
See that cat? He's dangerous.
Right.
He's teaching middle school, but he's dangerous. You seen Breaking Bad? It's like that would be off the topic. But he made meth. You know what I mean? He cooked meth up and he sold that meth. I don't know. I'm sure there's pretty chemistry teachers that could do that. You know, to cook some meth. Now I'm bringing fiction into it, but y'all understand the point. Now these cats are those mighty men of teaming, those Germans. That's what the Lord said He's gonna bring down. You think an atom bomb is gonna take the glory away from the Lord? You get what I mean? That's what you think? You think an earthquake is going to take the glory away from the Lord? I mean, now, he might still send earthquakes. He might still send the new bombs. But there is something coming worse than that. You feel me? There's something coming way worse than that. And he's going to get the glory for it. Go ahead.
Like you, sir. You said about cooking meth. My chemistry teacher, he's a white man. He said he's a chemist. Like he worked in a lab and he made cocaine before. Like he said he made it before.
He made cocaine? I don't know if he made cocaine.
No, it's a chemical compound.
Oh, you're right. You can cook up crack, right? Go ahead. Well, hold on. Why he say he do it though?
Because we had to make a poster about covalent bonds. That's what it is. Like
Oh,
between like sort of like I said.
like was he trying to be cool with y'all though?
I don't know.
Because why the hell you cooking up cocaine? You know, teachers do cocaine for sure. It don't show up in their test when they got it. They take tests. You know what I mean? Cocaine get out your system in what, 3 days? Weed stay in your system way longer. Like cocaine. What's the other pills they be doing? Ecstasy. Those drugs get out your system fast. Those are drugs that you can do. Weed, yeah, you pretty much done. You stay in your system at least 30 days. At least 30 days. I mean, they put a hair strand, it's over, but just pee, you good. You bad. Go ahead.
Weed is oil based.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That oil and that resin that you get at the end of that smoke, that's what stays.
They be like, drink water, just drink water. You be all right. Like, no, you won't. No, you won't. It's over for you. So now keep going.
O teaming shall be dismayed to the end that that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Mm-hmm. Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
Against thy brother who?
Jacob.
You understand? Your brother Jacob for the violence. Go ahead.
Shame shall cover thee. Mm-hmm. And thou shalt be cut off forever.
God, most high in Christ, man. You know what I mean? So now we went over a few things. I want to go over 2 more precepts. Of course, let me get Revelations 2 and 9. Revelations 2 and 9, Revelations 3 and 9. Let's get those real quick. Of course, I don't want to. You already put Jeremiah 14 and 2 in y'all breakdown. Y'all know that one. Yeah, give me those. And then give me that one, man. Shout out Malakwa. Give me yeah. What precept was it? Hold on one second. I ain't heard this precept in about 7 years, and he brought it out. I said, "Damn, man, I forgot about that precept." 1 second. Second Maccabees 6 and 6. All right. Yeah, that'd be the last precept. I got you a Adonis champion. Y'all know who that is, Adonis champion? I've seen that person in the chat a few times. I get you why weed is frowned upon, right? I get you about 5 minutes. Y'all got it? No, we hold that for last. Give me this Revelations 2 and 9.
The book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Now what?
But thou art rich.
The Lord said, I know thy one more time.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
But thou art rich. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them who say they are Jews and are not.
You hear that, right? You know what I mean? How many times you read this precept? And how hard does it hit net when it's at the forefront? Every time things are at the forefront, precepts just speak louder. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said he knows the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. He also said he knows our poverty. He knows what we're going through. He knows how we live in our life. You know what I mean? But he said you're rich. Why are you rich? Raise your hand. Why are you rich? Jaime?
Because we have the law.
Because we have the law?
Because we have the law and we're the chosen people.
There you go, right? Because we're the chosen people. That's why we're rich. Like a lot of people want to bank on lottery tickets or hitting it big and all that. Once you put your life on the line for the Lord, that's the biggest come up you can get. You get what I'm saying? Hope is dangerous to people who are trying to oppress you. They want to take away your hope. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you have hope still in poverty while being oppressed in a horrible condition, all of that, and you still have hope, that's dangerous. And that's what Black people and Hispanic people have is hope. And the hope is to get on a chariot. The hope is to rule the world. And the hope is to have our God be on our side and destroy our enemies. So now we have that. Having that is dangerous enough. That's more than money. That's more than any money can buy. That's more than gold. That's more than, whatever you could think of is more than. The Lord provided that to us through this Bible. I got you out. Keep reading.
Come on. And are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Right. He calls them the synagogue of Satan. He said they're Jews. He said, the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not, but instead are the synagogue of Satan. Because they are. You understand? You know what the synagogue is? What is a synagogue? Go ahead.
A Jewish house of worship.
Yeah, a Jewish house of worship. You know what they're doing in that Jewish house of worship? You know what they do? Huh? I'll tell you in a second. Anybody else know what they do? Shout out.
Well, they take little boys and they circumcise them with their mouth.
Yeah, they circumcise them. That's what we're supposed to go over, circumcision. The water. I ain't gonna get to it, but I forgot that's what it was. They put their mouth on a baby's penis and give the baby herpes. Raise your hand if you never heard this before. So y'all heard this before, right? They put their mouth on a baby's penis with wine on their mouth and give the baby herpes. You understand? That's not false. That's true. The Jewish rabbis is, they just like them Catholic priests. You just don't hear about them Jewish rabbis because who runs social media? Right. Who runs media? Period. The Jewish rabbis in there doing things to little boys that you can't even imagine. You know what I mean? You won't ever hear about it because who runs the media? Who says, "Oh no, we ain't gonna push that story"? Are you crazy? That's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried.
So that's it. Give me 3 and 9. But that's an excellent precept. Y'all want to keep reading. That's excellent.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
But what?
But do lie.
They lie, man. They lying on you. They lying to the world and getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? They lying to the world and getting away with who they are. Keep going.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet,
Mm-hmm.
and to know that I have loved thee.
He gonna make them come and worship before your feet, and he gonna show who he really loves. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we have to understand. Now let's go. Let's go to Maccabees. Yeah, you want to say something, Trevor? Right?
Oh, when you were saying that's dangerous when you don't have nothing and you still want to worship the Lord and you feel like will let that phase you. There was a saying that says the most dangerous man on the planet is a man that don't got nothing to lose.
Facts. Yeah, he is. He for sure is. Because what's holding them back? Nothing. Nothing. That's why you can't expect anyone rich to do something amazing. You know what I'm saying? They got too much to lose. It's anyone rich that Malcolm X, like, I'm a fan of Malcolm X, but I know the truth. You know what I mean? But I'm a fan for what he did for at the time until I came into the truth. I was like, oh, that's nothing. We do that all day. Before the truth, I was like, man, Malcolm X. I remember I wanted to be a Muslim because of Malcolm X. I was like, damn, he hardcore. And I seen another Muslim cat. What's the cat name? Khalid Muhammad. I seen him. I said, damn, that's a hardcore cat. That's the Commander Johanna. I said, I'm coming to the truth. I've never seen no brother speak out the Bible. That was wild to me. You know what I mean? I thought I wanted to be a Muslim. Then I seen Commander Johanna speak. I said, yeah, right. Where can I meet him? Where do I sign up? You know what I'm saying? So, what was I getting to? What was I saying? The hope, right? What's on my hope? Yeah, you were talking these cats. That's why he was. That's why Malcolm X was what he was because he had nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? He had nothing to lose. People loved him because he had nothing to lose, and he was speaking their truth to them. You know what I'm saying? He was saying how much the white man was a devil. That's always good. Saying the white man is a devil is to black people that are getting oppressed by white people is the best thing that they can hear because that's the truth. Because who is running their life? Who is calling their phone? Who they got to pay their bills to? Who's teaching their kids?
Right.
Who's selling them food? You know what I'm saying? Everywhere they go is a devil. That's why you have to say it. Don't ever be afraid to say it. Don't ever be afraid to say who the devil is that the Bible speaks of. The Bible says who it is. The Bible is identifying who it is. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, Shadrach. Malakma.
So like cat with the rich also refer to Israel being the salt of the earth.
Yes, absolutely. You know what I mean? Wait, the rich?
Yeah, where it says thou art rich.
Thou art rich.
Where Christ in Revelation 2:9 where it says, I know thy works and tribulations, but thou art rich.
Well, okay, give me. Why is that the salt of the earth?
So like because Israel's got that flavor and that style. So even in our
Oh yes, like you're rich in yeah, for sure. That can be you're rich in that. You know what I mean? Like that's why these cats get $100 million contracts because they are amazing. You know what I mean? That's why Lil Baby is the most grossing rapper to this day, I believe, and it's because of he's entertaining. And his music is amazing to people, and he gets so much money to show up at a show. You know what I mean? They got to give him so much money. Lil Durk, they got to give him so much money, and he's from the most horrible part of Chicago. Lil Baby's from the most horrible part of Atlanta. You know what I mean? Give me some more. Give me some more cats. Who else is? You get the point. Who?
Kanye himself.
Kanye from the west side of Chicago. You know what I mean? Or south side, one of the two. Right? Lil Wayne is from damn New Orleans, the Ward. You know what I mean? Like these cats is from the worst places in these neighborhoods, but they're getting so much money from the white man because of how amazing they are. And their kids, the oppressors' kids, love them. Yeah, they be saying the word nigga all the time, reciting lyrics. You know what I'm saying? They look up to them. They go speak like them. They got $100,000 in their trust fund already at the age of 10. $200,000 in their trust fund. By the time they get 21 or 30, when they get it, they got millions, and they want to be you. You know what I'm saying? All right, so where we at? Maccabees 66. Second Maccabees 66. After this, I'm gonna get your question up. Why is weed frowned upon? Right? Why is weed frowned upon? Give me those 2 precepts. Hold on 1 second. I'll give you that.
Second Maccabees,
Yes.
chapter 6, verse 6.
There you go.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days and ancient feasts.
There was a time where it was unlawful for you to keep the Sabbath, and it was unlawful for you to keep the feast days. You understand this? Think about this. Think about that oppression. In America, you're free to do it, right? Of course, you're still a nigga, but you're free to do. We're free to come to our business, which is this building, and have a holy day. We're here to have the Sabbath. We have the Sabbath every Saturday morning, right? We're free to do it. There was a time we could not do it. Keep going.
Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
It was wrong to even say that you were a Jew. Now, Kanye said he was a Jew. What happened to him? Man, I posted something on Facebook. He lost $600 million, which was not true. He lost $1 billion, I heard. Yeah, this ain't what he has on him. This is in revenue of what's going to what he did is going to cost him. You get what I'm saying? What he said cost him that much because these much people cut ties with him. Right? He lost that by just saying black people are the Jews. That's it. Like, you feel me? And saying that the white man's an imposter. Where's the lie?
Right.
Where's the lie? Right? The truth is expensive. The truth is expensive. Shout out. The water. All right, so we're good to go on now. We're gonna go over more of it on the radio show. Let me get this brother's question. Why is weed frowned upon? Okay, is weed frowned? Why is weed frowned upon? Because it's against God, right? Just like eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster would be frowned upon as well. Now, I say this as a person who overcame weed, just like a lot of brothers in this room, we overcame weed. Now, we don't smoke weed because God says we can't smoke weed. You know what I mean? Weed is an herb. Weed is used for healing in some cases, but the problem about weed is black people are not sick and get high, and they abuse the herb with the getting high and all that and they're not sick. Their shoulder don't hurt. They don't got insomnia. All them lies that black people used to get this trying to smoke weed. I got insomnia, man. I got nerves. I got these demons in my head. I remember I heard that growing up. I got, man, if I don't get high, man, I'll get demons and start telling me to kill people. I'm like, damn. Man, you might need to go to get psychiatrical help. I don't know about weed. You're going to be high all day. Right? So let's get Proverbs 16 and 27. Proverbs 16 and 27. And also Ezekiel 8 and 17. All right, let's get those 2 precepts. Then also the brother asks, how would someone know they are ready to give up their life to the Lord with the crazy lifestyle past? Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll get that for you too. Let me get John 3 and 16. You get John 3 and 16. The other 2 brothers. All right. Let me get Proverbs 16 and 27. And Malakma, let me get Ezekiel 8 and 17.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 27. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire.
An ungodly man diggeth up evil. If you look at drugs and how we got to get them, we got to dig it up, right? We got to go get that weed up out the ground. We plant it. Some people plant it, piss on it, pigeon poop. Y'all heard these things before, right? They put these nutrients in the soil. It's all to make the weed strong. Seriously. If you ever grew weeds, you got cats go pee on the plant. You know what I'm saying? They go get pigeon poop, get it all together, throw it in there, put it in the soil. You get what I'm saying? They get the nutrients, they throw it in the soil, get the plant good, and watch it grow. And they keep doing it, accumulating, and you get high off that. It's little chemicals in that. You know what I'm saying? There's chemicals in it. And the Lord said, if a man diggeth up the evil, he diggeth it up. So now, what else drug do we dig up? It's a cocoa leaf, right?
Right.
Go look at the coke, right? And you think about what that did to the Black and Hispanic community under the Reagan administration. Think about that. Think about what opioids do, right? Listen, it wasn't a drug problem until white people started dying, right?
Right.
White people got them opioids. Opioids come from the ground as well. Am I wrong? Right, right. They come from the ground as well. You know what I mean? All these things come from the ground, and you dig it up and you put it in your body and to abuse yourself. So abusing yourself with things like that makes it evil. You understand? So we want to talk about weed. We don't smoke weed in ISUPK because the Lord said we can't smoke weed. Now I'm gonna break it down. I just broke it down, like digging up the evil. But there's nothing I don't have weed. The actual herb ain't a sin. You understand? It's like, listen, if your doctor prescribed it to you and you need this because you have cancer, you have something going on with you, you absolutely need it, then you can what? You can eat it, put it in your tea, whatever. But we don't do that because we're not in the spirit of getting high. And nothing's wrong with me. As far as I know, it's a lot of you. As far as I know, nothing wrong with me. Nothing wrong with a lot of brothers, but it's the problem is they just want to be in a different state and escape reality. And reality needs to be met with terms of being real with yourself and not caring. And that's like and caring and not caring is a symptom of not fixing your issues, fixing your problems. You know what I'm saying? Now, alcohol can even be that for some people, right? You might not smoke weed, but you might get drowned. You might drown yourself in alcohol to forget your problems. That also can be a sin. You know what I'm saying? So just to answer your question, why is weed frowned upon? Because God said it's a sin to smoke weed. You know what I mean? God says it's a sin. Is any more on that precept? Go ahead, Shadow Rock.
Everybody always saying it comes from the ground. It can't harm you.
Mm-hmm.
But heroin comes from the ground.
Yes.
It comes from the poppy plant.
Mm-hmm.
So does cocaine. That
Right.
poppy plant is from the ground, and it can kill you. It'll kill many brothers with overdoses and everything.
That's right. That's right. You know what I mean? And I understand as black people, why wouldn't you get high? Look at your condition. I get it. You know what I mean? But now when you get the word of God and God says what he says about it, he expects you, even in your condition, to not be in the drug addict. You know what I'm saying? He expects you in your condition to not allow yourself to give you an excuse to be this way. So even in your condition, don't get high. You understand? Even in your condition, don't be an alcoholic. Don't be something that's against him, even under it's like under any circumstance. You understand? Give me Ezekiel 8:17.
Come on, concert. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 8, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here?
Mm-hmm.
For they have filled the land with violence.
Right. So now even we just also can be wrong for this, man. People sell weed. And I know growing up, man, people used to die over weed. People die over weed. People in prison right now for years over weed. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
just a fact. So, the Lord said violence comes with that drug as well. Especially in a community where everyone's, scratching for $1. You're scratching for $1, you need every penny. You need your weed money. I know cats selling weed. I mean, growing, I don't know about it anymore, but like I remember cats, they used to sell weed forever. I'd be 8 years old and I was 18. The cat's still selling nickel and dime pack of weed. You know what I mean? Making $60, $70 a day, and he's still doing it. You might want to get a job back. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But being that is better than going to work. But go ahead, shout out, get your hand up.
Oh yeah, my brother got shot because of weed.
Yeah, did he die?
No, he got the bullet went through his shoulder and they cut it out of his stomach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Over weed, he wasn't even smoking, but he sat in front of the weed place. They thought it was me.
Yeah.
And they shot him and shot my home.
Yeah. I mean, that's a million cat stories. You know what I mean? Right or wrong. Weed, you might get shot over some weed. You know what I'm saying?
As a matter of fact, when I came home from when I told you about the canoe trip and all that, when I got the patch and all that, when I came home, everybody in New York was like, "Didn't you get shot? Didn't you get shot?" They thought the hood thought it was me.
Right. Read. It's like we good to go on that, right? That's all you need. So now let's go here. Let me ask you the last question. We're gonna roll. How would someone know they are ready to give their life to the Lord with the crazy lifestyle path? You got John 3:16 now? Come on, let's go.
the book of John, chapter 3, and verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Of course, I can go to 1,000 breakdowns, right, about why your lifestyle don't matter. Whatever you did in your lifestyle and your old lifestyle don't matter, because the Lord said, whosoever. I'm taking the page out of General Muhammad, right? Whosoever. It doesn't matter what you did, who you are, what you've done, right? The Lord said he is going to send his Son to die for you. You understand? So you think you living a crazy life. I'm not gonna say my past. I'm not gonna say anybody else's past. But I know brothers' past who was way worse than you can ever think. And they up in here. You understand? They up in here. Amazing soldier serving Christ. So don't think about your lifestyle being the worst. Just think about you changing your lifestyle and becoming someone new that you never was before. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord said, what? Whosoever. You understand that, right? With that, I'm going to pass the class over to priest of the Oscar War.
Israel, Elijah. Give one credit, salute to the teacher. Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak.
Yabashim Yahshua Barak.
Yabashim. Come on.
Israel Sar, Awad. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sister of Israel, Elijah Shabbat, Elijah, Barak. Class dismissed.
You caught the wall here up.
The money for the bank was yours?
Yeah.
You want to put you got it.